Listen with me for a single, simple phrase: peace within, harmony around. Let it arrive like a whisper into a busy room, not to drown the noise, but to remind you that there is a still center inside you waiting to be known. This is not a distant ideal or an instruction written on a sheet and forgotten. It is a living truth you can touch every morning when you breathe, a quiet compass that points towards steadiness. When you hold this phrase close, you begin to notice how the rhythm of your day changes. Voices soften, choices feel clearer, anger cools into understanding. This idea is our spark. When the small weather of our inner world settles, the larger climate of our relationships, work, and communities grows gentler and more aligned. Feel that first quiet. It is both invitation and promise, and it opens the door to what comes next. Imagine now a breath that travels across years, carrying the weight of worry, the warmth of laughter, the ache of loss, and then returns to rest in your chest. This breath is not escape. It is your anchor. Every time you choose calm over reaction, you practice peace, and that practice ripples outward. Think of a person at a market who pauses before answering, a leader who listens before deciding, a parent who steadies their tone before responding. These are small acts, quiet as a leaf settling on still water, yet they rearrange the scene. When you give yourself permission to slow, you are teaching others permission to do the same. Your inner steadiness becomes an offering, modeling patience, reminding strangers that breath can be a tool for balance. Hold that image as we lean in deeper. There is a warmth starting to grow. We are not islands clutching our truths tightly. Peace within asks us to reach outward, not to dominate, but to connect. Imagine standing in a circle with others who have listened to the same whisper. Each of you brings a different story, resilience, heartbreak, triumph, and together you form a constellation of practice. You share a look, a pause, a willingness to be present. In these shared moments, harmony is born not from perfection but from real presence. This collective practice turns solitary calm into community strength. You strengthen your own center, and in doing so, you strengthen the web that supports others. Feel the current of mutual encouragement pulling you forward as we continue our journey into how this truth changes the way we move through life. Peace is cultivated like a garden. It takes attention, composting of past hurts, and the patience to wait for roots to take hold. Consider the stories of people who found steadiness after storms. A musician who practiced quietly for years before a single song touched a crowd. A teacher who learned to breathe through each parent-teacher conference. A neighbor who turned small acts of kindness into a neighborhood tradition. Each began by tending their own soil, reflecting, setting boundaries, forgiving. These are not dramatic explosions of change. They are slow, intentional commitments. When you plant gentleness inside, it informs how you speak, how you work, how you forgive yourself and others. This is the hidden labor that yields harmony beyond the self. Let us now walk among these roots and discover practical ways to nurture them. There are practices that make peace palpable. Begin with simple rituals, a morning pause to set a single intention, a nightly inventory of what went well, the practice of naming one feeling without judgment. Add to this the discipline of listening, not to respond, but to understand. When you combine breath, reflective journaling, and deliberate listening, you build a household of habits that sustain calm. These are tools you can use anywhere, at work before a tough call, in a car when traffic spikes, in the quiet of a bedroom when worry arrives. They are not magic, but they are reliable. They create internal architecture that resists collapse. As we move forward, Imagine how these practices expand outward into relationships and communities, changing the very shape of how we meet each other. I want you to picture a ripple, a single stone dropped in a still pond. Now think of a conversation where you chose patience, a decision where you declined to escalate tension, a time you forgave someone and chose connection over pride. Each ripple meets other ripples, and, together, they spread until the whole surface is transformed. Community is made not of grand proclamations, but of countless small ripples that align. When enough people commit to tending their inner gardens, neighborhoods become safer, workplaces become spaces of mutual respect, and families remember how to celebrate softness alongside strength. These stories exist everywhere, in cafes, in buses, in late-night phone calls. Hold that ripple image as we rise toward what these changes can become when they meet courage. Now we arrive at a turning point. Peace is not passivity. It is a quiet force with the power to change courses. Think of a leader who listens so deeply that people feel seen, a parent who steadies a frightened child, a friend who offers calm in a crisis. These acts are strong because they require courage, the courage to remain centered in the face of chaos. When your inner peace is practiced fiercely, it becomes a compass others can follow. It insists on clarity where confusion once reigned. It says, in subtle but undeniable ways, that a different path is possible. This strength invites others to step into steadiness with you, and together, you create a rising current that reshapes the landscape. Imagine a choir where each voice finds its pitch by listening, not overpowering. When a group of people learn to hold their inner peace, something extraordinary happens. Momentum builds, and the energy changes from chaotic to creative. Movements begin in bedrooms, in small groups, at kitchen tables, and grow because they are rooted, not reactive. This is the essence of harmony, coordinated diversity that honors each voice while moving toward a common melody. Here, the quote becomes both instruction and prophecy. As we cultivate peace within, harmony around becomes inevitable. Feel the swell of possibility as we prepare to crest into a moment of transformation. Picture a city square where strangers wait with different histories and, for one afternoon, choose to listen. Conversations shift from fear to curiosity. Hands that once trembled in anger now build together. This is not fantasy. It is the potential of ordinary people practicing extraordinary restraint. The transformation feels like sunlight breaking through clouds, sudden, luminous, and warming everything it touches. It shows us that harmony is not manufactured from silence alone, but from engaged, compassionate action rooted in stillness. As we carry this energy into the final part of our journey, let your chest fill with the sense that your calm matters, your choice to be steady matters, and the community you help make will reflect that gift. If there is one gift this phrase offers, it is practical hope, the knowledge that what you do inside changes what happens outside. Peace within, harmony around, asks you to be the place where conflict softens, where impatience is met with patience, where fear meets steady breath. It teaches that your practice is politics in miniature. It shapes the culture of your home, your circle, your workplace. The life lesson is simple and profound. Invest in your inner life, not as an act of selfishness, but as a service to the world you want to live in. When you choose presence, you choose connection. When you choose calm, you invite others to be calm too. Hold this lesson and let it steady your steps as we bring this journey to a close. We are a community walking this path together. Your experiences, your small rituals, your ripples, they matter. share them here. Tell a story of a time you chose calm, name a practice that grounds you, or offer encouragement to someone finding their way. Subscribe to stay with this evolving conversation. Share this message so it reaches another heart that needs steadiness, and leave a comment with your interpretation of peace within, harmony around. Let us keep building a circle where each person supports the next, where strength and gentleness coexist, and where our shared practice becomes the world we wish to see. Remember, peace within creates harmony around. Carry it, live it, and bring others with you. If this resonated, subscribe, share, and write your experience below, because together we become the change we long to see.